Welcome back to Get Into It with Jason Hook. With me, your host, Jason Hook. And let's get into it. What we're listening to is Platinum Rats by The Briefs. This just came out over a few months ago. I believe the beginning of summer. Cat there. Got a live shot. So this is the band's first LP in 12 years, I believe. Maybe a little bit less than that. So you got 12 songs here. These guys are from Seattle. It's snotty garage punk. Best way for me to describe it. Gunk, I mean, if you want to call it, use that acronym or that cool phrase, but zero. Anyways, if you want to use that, just snotty, good garage punk. I love this band. I love their early stuff. I didn't even know this came out. I think it was just because I'm lazy. But this whole video is going to kind of have a theme of there's a lot of rock in this video. There's some metal, some punk, but a lot of like kind of just rock music. And everything on this video I bought in Maine 2 months ago when I was up for a union conference. But so you sit back, listen. This is the Briefs Platinum Rats. It's on Burger. If you dig garage rock, if you dig the Wipers, if you dig kind of like the 77 sound with a modern twist, you'll love this. I'm trying to think of some other bands. Exploding Hearts. What was that other band? It's gonna drive me nuts. Anyways, let's move on. Next, what we have here is a double LP bootleg. I believe it's a bootleg. No, it's on a label. This is Metallica live in Winnipeg in 1986. And this is one of those things that kind of bums me out that happens, where the layout for this record is way cooler than the actual, like, what's on it. The recording's not horrible. I know I was a little, in a chat I'm in, I was a little more cranky about it than I think I should have been. I listened to it again. I mean, it's a bootleg. It's definitely like a dude with like a Talkboy or some shit. It's not a phone. It's 1986, guys. But with some sort of cheapo recorder recording it. This was recorded in December, which is, I think, 2 months, maybe even less than 2 months after Jason Newsted joined, after Cliff died. So there is mention of our new bassist. I believe they call him Jason New Kid, which you guys know is a thing. Live FM broadcast. So this was on the radio. But like I said, it's not the best recording. There's parts that are clearer than others. There's definitely like a couple of choppy edits, I think, because they needed to fit it. Because I think it sounds like they came out 2 times for encores. There's also it says right here, it says Jason's bass solo, but there's an improvised guitar solo on here. That's definitely, I think, them just fucking around, trying to kill time because something's broken. Because it's definitely not, they're just fucking around. But this is Metallica, live in Winnipeg, 1986, the Canadian FM broadcast. You get Battery, Master of Puppets, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Welcome Home Sanitarium, Jason's bass solo, Whiplash, Fade to Black, Seek and Destroy, Creeping Death, The Four Horsemen, Kirk's guitar solo, Am I Evil, Damage Inc., and Fight Fire with Fire. The best thing about this still, that made me laugh super hard, is right before Fight Fire with Fire, when they're doing that mandolin intro, which sounds like it's recorded and they're playing through the PA, you hear in the most Canadian accent you've ever heard in your whole life somebody go, "Hey, ain't this a song you win for, eh? Fight Fire with Fire, eh?" And it makes me laugh every time. But anyways, that's Metallica, live in Winnipeg in 1986. I got that at Bull Moose. A lot of this stuff I got at Bull Moose. A couple of things I got at some smaller shops that I forgot the name of and I feel real bad about. But if I remember, I'll plug them below. Next, another repressed double LP here is Sepultura's Arise. This is the repress from 2017, I believe. This originally came out in 1991 on Road Runner, Road Racer. So it's another double LP. So you got the insert here. You got the center here. You got 2 LPs. Getting messages. The first LP is the actual Arise record. It's on black vinyl, so you guys know what it looks like. The first LP is actually like the original LP, Arise. The second LP is just recording sessions, demos, live versions of the songs. A couple writing sessions, so there's like no vocals, just kind of, just demos and change stuff. Not the most must-have stuff, I would say. But it's also remastered. I love this record. This is my actually first time I've ever owned it. I had it on a cassette tape that a friend of mine recorded for me when we were younger. 1991, I was 9, so it was probably 93, 94. It's the first time I ever heard this, and I dug it. I still dig it now. I know there's some people who aren't the biggest Sepultura fans. They do have a very heavy catalog, lots of releases, kind of run a gamut. The early stuff's more death metal. This is kind of more thrashy, and then maybe, I don't want to say the words new metal, but towards the end, they might have taken even a different, a different sound for the time. But Brazilian thrash metal, the Caballero brothers are in this. Went on, you got Nail Bomb and Soulfly, the other projects they've done. But this is definitely some, if you dig metal, you dig thrash, I'm sure everyone's heard this. If you haven't, if you're a young one, you never heard this, check this shit out. Even if you're a hardcore punk kid, this is some shit you gotta hear, because I think you'll dig it. But that's Sepultura's Arise. Double LP Mania, it seems. Next, sticking in the metal world here. What I have here is Trappist Agent brewing techniques. This came out on Relapse, I think, last year. So what we got here, these are dudes from Spaz, Killed in Action, Crom, Despise You, several like kind of power violence-y fastcore bands from California, doing a band that's just 100% dedicated to beer. This record kind of has everything on it, from grind to fastcore to thrash to straight metal to like kind of like a chuggy breakdown song where there's like a call out where it's like, yo, motherfuckers need a drink or something like that. Songs about, leaving fallen soldiers, actually brewing beer. How Coors Light is not good. It's all about craft beer. And the funny thing on here too is that it also has a pairing for each song. No Soldier Left Behind. 3 Floyd Zombie Dust Pale Ale. For the ultimate sensory experience, we recommend the following beer and song pairings while enjoying this album. Oh, it's tongue-in-cheek, guys, but it's cool. It's funny. It's worth hearing. And these guys also do a podcast called The Hour of the Barbarian, which is all 3 guys. Definitely check that out if you like. If you're into beer. It's funny because I don't drink, but that's right. I'm cool. If you're into beer and hardcore punk and want to hear 3 guys shoot the shit while busting each other's chops about everything and telling stories about, all your favorite bands coming through California. Chris Dodge is in this band, so Slapping Ham stories. If you want to hear all that, Hour of the Barbarian, I'll link it below. But check this out too. Like I said, it's literally every corner of punk and hardcore sounding songs, but just themed to be about beer. I think all 3 of them sing on different songs. It's great stuff. But that's Trappist Agent Brewing Tactics. Wet the whistle. Next, to compare, if you guys watched my last video, which you all should, and then you told a friend about it, I talked about this band, Manowar. This is another just 2-song, 12-inch single. This one's from, I wrote the year, 1984. All Men Play on 10, baby. It's got an amp, got the Manowar logo. You're back here. If you guys have never heard Manowar, they are the most speaker. It's set up like a speaker and an amp. This really looks good for 84. It's still got a shine on it. The vinyl's black vinyl. So if you guys never heard Manowar, which I know every single one of you have, like I mentioned in the last video, they're pretty much just the most metal band to ever be metal. You can't claim to be involved in just any sort of subculture, or even call yourself a metalhead if you don't listen to Manowar. It's just really the purest form of the music. For the real, just real people, like real metalheads, the real salt of the earth headbangers. But again, this is just a 2-song 1984 single. Download it, check it out. Don't download it, buy the records, because that's how metal should be listened to. Again, wear jeans and leather, not Cracker Jack clothes. Make sure you protect your heart of steel. All right, got another comp here. This is the Jobcentre Rejects. Ultra rare new wave of British heavy metal, 78 to 82. This is on. Is this off the disc? It's not off the disc. That's an Infest record. Off the Dole Records. So what you got here is just a collection of kind of obscure 45s that came out when the new wave of British heavy metal explosion happened. You guys recognize this right here. It's Overdrive. I talked about them a couple videos ago. I picked up their I don't want to say it's a discography, but I picked up a repress that was their 7-inch and demo tracks on it. But if you dig that, this is what you'll get in here. So it's new wave of British heavy metal. It's more, you know, along with the rock theme of the video. This isn't full-blown metal. It's got the rock tinge to it, almost like kind of maybe a glam tinge at some point. Not full-blown glam. We'll get into that later. But I think that's cool about this. So you got every band here. It's got a little story about the bands. Let's see if I can find a short one here. Jobcentre Rejects kicks off with bass lines, gripping, suspended animation, which, if shorn of its guitar solos and opening riffs, could pass for a mid-tempo pop punk is pervaded now on album by 1977 Bandwagon Jumpers London. That the Yorkshire Trio weren't quite standard metalers is attested by their mostly short hair and the artful post-punk packaging of their 1981 single. So it's got one of those for every band on here. I'll read the bands real quick. So, again, I'm not super in the know about new wave of British heavy metal. I dig it. I'm trying to learn more about it. You know, the obscure shit, I have no idea. Like, this is the first time I've heard of any of these bands. What you got here is you got Baseline, Predator, spelled Predatu with an umlaut R. Spider, Stray, Overdrive, Frenzy, Die Laughing, Speed, Energy, the next band, Static, and Metal Mirror. So if you're looking to dabble, or even if you know these bands, or you don't want to pay $1,000 trillion gazillion dollars for obscure 45s that are possible to find, this would be something you can grab. It's relatively cheap. I got this at a store. I didn't even have to order it. I believe there's a volume 2 that's coming out soon. Might be already be out or on the way. But it says right here, too, on the back, just to give you an idea. It says, from a time in which metal had vanished, obliterated by punk, and the band's servicing could have been match fit for punk. Instead, they went for metal. Nonetheless, what they drew from punk was a fresh sense of attack and the knowledge that anyone could issue a record. Bands themselves did so, and everything here originally appeared on such an imprint. So basically, it's self-released DIY 45s. But that's the Jobcentre Rejects, new wave of British heavy metal, rare 78 to 82 comp. Center labels are pretty basic. They just change the colors. It's black vinyl. And that, again, that's on Off the Dole #1. And there is a volume 2. When I was doing research just so I could know what I'm talking about a little bit, I tried. I saw that volume 2. I think it might actually be out today or this week. I'm gonna order one. Right when I'm done making this video, I'm gonna order it. So it'll be in the video when I get to it. But Jobcentre Rejects, new wave of British heavy metal rarities. Next, we're gonna switch a little bit here back to some more thrash. This is the White Pigs, the Combat Boot Camp version of this record. I believe the only version of this record. These guys are from Connecticut, and they came out in, I believe, in 82 or 84, sometime in between there, with a standard American hardcore sound record. Just fast, you know, very, very fast. A little bit of this band had a little bit more of a melodic, I know someone just probably had a seizure, who knows what it sounds like. It wasn't just fast for the sake of fast. It had structure to it. And then they kind of went towards metal, which I believe, or as you may know, an overabundance of bands did. This is way more metal. There was an LP that was before this, or maybe shortly after this came out, that was full-blown metal. This is crossover. I'm going to call it crossover. It's crossover thrash. It's got the sticker there. That's the cover of the original 7-inch. Debut LP. So there was an LP after this. I paid more than $3.99. I paid $3.98. I paid $13. This was at a random shop. Might have been Strange, Maine. I could be wrong. Then I saw this, so I grabbed it. I thought it was cool. But it's crossover. It's leaning more towards metal than punk, but it does have like the kind of like, it's not so corny to say, but it has like the punk attitude or the sneer, not the straight metal sound. But this is good stuff. I dug it. A little snotty. I'd say definitely check it out. I think this is relatively easy to find. The original 7-inch is a White Whale Cornerstone Collector record. It's big bucks. I've never even seen one. But yeah, that's the White Pigs self-titled debut EP. Got a little crossover thrashy punk going on here. Record's over. I'm gonna flip it. Ugh. Been going through a lot of my stuff here. I have a lot of stuff for videos. It's just I gotta find time, which will be coming soon, I believe. I'm gonna be home a lot. I'll be home in overabundance of time in the next month, a couple months or so. So expect I have tons of cassette tapes. If anyone's interested in me doing like a demo video or cassette tape video, please like shoot me a message because I'm trying to figure out where I want to go next. Like this is all stuff I got in the mail, you know, sing rips. Anyways, let's move on. Next I have this comp, which the music itself isn't that great, but I've always wanted one of these. I paid $5 for it. It's the Propaganda comp. Look at that cover art. This came out in 1979. It's also a promo copy. It's got a promo stamp. The White Pigs has a promo stamp too. I don't know what that is. These were bought in like thrift stores in Maine. But this is a comp of like, it's got the Grenady brothers. The Joe Jackson songs are sick. They're live. And the Police on it. The Reds, Baby Henry, Joe Jackson, a previously unreleased song. Squeeze, David Kubenek, and Shrink. I wasn't super in love with any of the Joe Jackson stuff's cool. A $5 record. I got it straight for the cover art though, because I think it's very, I don't want to say, it's very punk. And I've always wanted a copy of this, and for $5 when I was spending money like an idiot on in a, you know, first shop I grabbed. Vinyl's nice. A blatant attempt to influence your musical taste, Propaganda. But it's just like something like this is the kind of thing I'll grab, probably file away, never really listen to again. But I just wanted a copy of it. I just like the cover art on it. Very 1979. Very 1979. Cold War-ish type stuff going on here. It's funny, this person's wearing a shirt that says the Reds. This is a sticker. So I wonder if every band is incorporated somehow. Or could that be the Police? I don't know. Anyways, Propaganda. Next, if we want to talk about glam, we have a Slade record. This is Come On Feel the Noise, as you know, went on to be covered by Quiet Riot. Slade's a glammy bluesy rock band for the 70s. This actually came out in 1982, but all the 73, 71, 72, 72 are on here. So it's just a weird 4-song. Maybe they're trying to push Slade in 1982 for whatever reason, for some reason. If you know, let me know. I didn't do a lot of research. But this has Come On Feel the Noise, Cause I Love You, Take Me Back Home, and Goodbye Jane. And it's all written in Cockney slang. But what you got here, it's on Polydor. What you get here is just foot stomping kind of glam, bluesy rock. That's really awesome. This version of the song is way better than Quiet Riot. I don't know if that's like a elitist nerd stance, but it is. But that's Slade. This doesn't have a name, it's just 4 songs. And it was $6, so I grabbed it. Oh shit, I just noticed this for the first time. So this is actually printed sideways, because all the bands are listed on the spine. I thought it was weird. Or it's supposed, I don't know if it's a misprint, but you can see all the, I don't know if you can't really see it, but they're listed very faintly on the spine. I thought it was weird that it was a top-loaded record. Whenever it's how it's done on purpose, who knows? I'm all over the place. Next, to stick to $5 jammers, Joan Jett in the Blackhearts, I Love Rock and Roll. Everyone knows I love rock and roll. What year did this come out? I know I wrote it down. 1981 on Boardwalk Records. This has Crimson and Clover on it, which has always been a favorite of mine, believe it or not. I love rock and roll, we all know. The little drummer boy closes this out, which is really weird. I don't know if anyone can give me insight on that, of why she closed out her debut LP with a Christmas cover. This is her debut LP, right? It's not a bad cover, it's just kind of weird. It just seems odd. It would have been, I think it would have worked better as a hidden track, but who am I? Joan Jett, I'm not sure she wants my advice. But you know, Joan Jett was in the Runaways. I Love Rock and Roll, classic song. Crimson and Clover is a real solid one, though. It's you guys are getting soft Jason, gentle Jason today. You know, just put on Crimson and Clover, and I just think about life. This was cool because it has the original plastic sleeve, which I hate, but it's a $5 record. But it's got the Boardwalk Entertainment Co. logo, center labels. Another $5 buy. I believe I got this, the Slade record, and that Propaganda LP all at the same. It was like a weird, you guys know anything about Portland? There's a lot of like secondhand stores that are like They have tons and tons of vinyl, but they also have clothes and other, like, it's like thrift shops, but they're like cool. It's not junk. And this was definitely at one of them. $5 coverware, just clean. Which is true, but that's Joan Jett. I don't know how long you guys want me to talk about Joan Jett, but you all know who she is, what it sounds like. Next, we have the lone super punk record here. We have Vice Squad, the Riot City years. This came out on Radiation Records, which is out of Italy, I believe. Let's see if I'm gonna... Yeah, Italy. They've been doing a lot of represses. Not necessarily true to form represses. They kind of put out collections that they kind of come up on their own. Again, 25% off at Bull Moose. I went to 2 different Bull Mooses in Portland. But what you get here is you get all the early, the Riot City Records stuff, and then you get a demo, a live track, a comp track, and then the last 3 songs are from the Sex AIDS release, which is on Riot City. Sex Age is actually Sex AIDS is actually Chaotic Discord with a different name, which was members of Vice Squad and their like crew. The only thing I hate about these is that they're a little. I mean, it was $24, 25% off. They're a little pricey, but all it literally is a record. I wish they, you know, I mean, it'll probably be more money to do a nice insert, but this is a thick. It's 180 gram at least. Mine feels heavier, which I know probably isn't possible, but really basic. It's really basic center labels. But I've shown some other Radiation releases on here. I know some people have a beef with them because it might not be 100% legit. I'm not 100% sure how they operate. Their stuff pops up here and there, but they do a lot of UK 82 early punk stuff where they just cram a bunch of releases on one record. And if you guys never heard Vice Squad, Becky Bonnage, it's UK 82 female vocals. Except for the 3 Sex 8 songs, she does not sing on the last 3 songs on here. Back on the Piss Again, the amazing Mr. Michael Hogarth, and Road Crew is a different singer. But you got Nothing, Last Rockers on here, Latex Love, Resurrection, Young Blood, Out of Reach, Sterile, So What for the 80s. You got all the classics on here that you need. If you guys, these kind of things I would say definitely check out if you've never heard Vice Squad and you want to hear them on vinyl and you don't want to spend top Dolores on original Riot City presses that could be hard to find. You know, nothing's hard in the age of the internet, but if you're a digger, and like, you know, I don't think you're going to find Vice Squad records relatively, I think you got to look for them. But anyways, that's Vice Squad, the Riot City years. And they're, sorry, moment. They broke up, they got another singer, she's reformed the band, they play fests, they played Boston, I think in the last year, but I think it was like a Monday night, I skipped it. Oh, I'm old, man. We're flying here. Last thing I want to show, again, in my last video, I talked about this band. This is the Nightbirds from New Jersey. This is their latest release here, Roll Credits, which came out on Fat Records. So readily available, guys. You don't need to look hard for this thing. On the perks of being on Fat, you get distro full, not even U.S. world distro, man. But they are they're a punk band from New Jersey. Definitely have the surf sound, the snotty sound, hardcore snotty punk. Last video I talked about Agent Orange, Adolescence, Adrenaline OD. If that's your thing, you guys will love this. This was released originally as a box set of EPs, which I have, that I bought directly from them, which I'm going to do in a video. So you will see the same record again. But it's like on the back, they all have different covers. So this, for the LP, since they put out the 45s, it's kind of like no frills. It's very basic packaging. There's no insert. You have the lyrics down the back here. I like how they went with the, I like the center label. It's a little unique, the Fat. It's got the Fat logo, but I like the setup here. I know they're probably biting a style, but I cannot remember the world's fattest record label around the platter hole here. Made to be played loud at high volume. So, I mean, my dad is a BTA killer, sick. This has a cover on it, too, and I just remembered. All songs written by the Nightbirds except I Need a Torch, which is the Suicide Commandos, and the solo into Onward to Obscurity, which is borrowed from the Electric Dead's Order. So, again, Nightbirds are very active on social media, so if you go follow them, go follow their Instagram account. They post a lot. They play fests and stuff. They tour when they can. I really dig this band. I always have since day one. I think the last episode of the channel, I went into. They did like a discography LP up until their first LP, which was cool. You can get that for cheap. You can find this everywhere. This is not hard to find. I highly recommend checking these guys out, especially if you're on that surf punk tip of the early '80s, snotty. Even if you dig this kind of stuff, you'll dig this. But on the front here, they did some funny little comics here. These Nightbirds records are too expensive and hard to get. Sob. I'll do anything just to hear them, for Christ's sake. The Nightbirds are so fucking expensive. These Nightbirds records are so fucking expensive. So I got freaking throwing a little fit. And then it's got a thing here. For improved audio, graphics, sound quality, follow the handy hint shown above by one of our suave record company executives. And it's a dude sweating with cleaning his ears out with a Q-tip. This is great shit. The singer does Ancient Artifacts too on Instagram, which I'll tag below, which he sells records and stuff, which is like a really good resource, especially if you're a bonzo nut job collector like myself. So that's all I got. But I did it real quick, so I'm gonna be able to do my shout outs that I always lose. First of all, Boston Hassle is great. Dorchester Art Project, which is a venue in Dorchester. I don't know what happened just when I was talking. And up in Dorchester. They do punk and hardcore shows all the time. They also do a lot of electronic shows, singer-songwriter. Check them out. I'm going to link the Boston Hassle below. If you live in the area, definitely check them out. Support it. It's a DIY venue, and it fucking rules. You all know how important that shit is, especially punk and hardcore guys. Next, I want to plug an Instagram account called the Rock and Roll Bookworm. It's just someone talking about books about punk and hardcore and rock and roll. It's cool. I own a lot of the books. I interact with it frequently. I'm a nerd like that. I read whenever books come out. I try to grab them. I should do another book episode. I did one a while ago. I have so many books. I have bookshelves of just books. I'm a psycho. I'm a hoarder. Next, I want to plug Eric Bauer's podcast called High Defamation. He just did a new episode. There's a little bit of a break between them, but he's back. It's a great episode. I'll link that below. Check that out. Of course, I want to talk about Marty Worm. He started doing videos again, so I'll link him below. This other dude, Ground Zero Salem. I don't know if you ever heard of him. If you're, I'm just kidding. Ground Zero Salem. We have very similar tastes in music. He's the one that got me into making videos for all you guys to enjoy. I'll tag him below. I think he's going to have videos coming out soon. Again, he's going to get back on it. The Metal Theologian. I mean, he's back on the horse. He's posting a lot again. Expect a ton of videos coming soon. I know I've said that before, but when the heir to the Get Into It empire is born, I'm going to be home a lot. I have a lot of stuff, a lot of videos, so expect them. A ton of shows coming up. So much happening. This breakdown shirt's sick. I got it in Philly. I have 5th records for Philly. So much. Stay tuned. Tell a friend. Please comment, share. Tell me the video sucks. Just do something. Get involved. Bye.